Is the system panicking? Good evening, folks, and welcome back to another episode of Silver Dad Knows. Remember, always live with no edits. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button now, as you're going to like what I'm about to say. So, as you can see in front of you, I have two epic coins. To my left, I have a 1991 American Eagle, and to my right, I have a 1937 Buffalo Head nickel. Of course, because this is a silver channel, I'm going to focus more in this introduction on the 1991 uncirculated Silver Eagle, because this piece that I have here is uncirculated. Of course, the American Eagle is considered to be one of the most cherished coins, but this year in particular is considered to be one of the scarcer issues in the uncirculated series. These have a mintage of about 7.2 million coins. The mintage is not necessarily considered to be low, as there are about 15 other dates with lower mintages. However, there are numerous other dates with mintages that have over 30 million coins struck. So yes, the 1991s are certainly a scarcer batch. We have our cherished Liberty walking onto, you see her right here on the verse. And then, of course, you have a patriotic reverse with a heraldic eagle. These are struck without a mint mark and are no longer available directly from the U.S. Mint. So that's an interesting fact about them. As you notice right there, there's some milk spots right there, even though these are uncirculated. American Eagles are one of the world's most popular silver bullion coins, and a must-have for anyone who loves large silver coins. You can get these as low as $50 right now with free shipping. So if you do want to get your hands on the 1991 option, yes, you can get it at a very affordable price, which is about $50, maybe a little bit above $50, but still, that's a great deal if you can find it for under 55 bucks. Really one of my favorites. I have a 1990, 1991, 1992, 1993. I mean, I go up the row on these coins as I have a bunch of the American Eagles. Really one of my favorite coins. So real quick, guys, before I continue, I do want to give a quick shout out to one of my loyal subscribers. And this is King Silver 638, and there's a comment that they made earlier today. Born in the early 60s, bought my first home in the mid 1980s when interest rate was at 9 to 10%. Normally, that was an interest rate 8%. There was no such thing as free money or 0% on cars or 3% on houses. People have got used to that, and since COVID, the house prices have pretty much doubled in price. So if you didn't have a mortgage before COVID, or house, you were going to pay double. It's the same thing with rent. My daughter's rent, her rent has doubled since COVID. Just look at everything. Price of food, price of gas. People better wake up come November. 10 million illegals. Yeah. So there you have it, guys. That's King Silver 638. Of course, some typos there, so I apologize if I read it a little bit. It sounded a bit skewed, a little bit confusing, but I kind of got the gist of what he was trying to say. And yes, I mean, times have certainly changed. If you're looking back 30, 40 years, yes, we live in a completely different America, a completely different economy. Right now, we have this phony economy that's been based on 70% of consumers spending, and consumers can only spend if they keep borrowing. We're heading into a global bust that will be worse than 2008. It will be a financial crisis unlike anything we've seen since the post-World War II era. Big bank failures are already taking place. Central banks will be hesitant and slow to repeat their same agenda, as they're convinced they made a massive mistake back in 2020. There's only one policy tool that can help stop the bust around the globe, and that's money printing like we've never seen. And right now, I'm thinking 15 to 20 trillion. That's going to come out of the Fed. They're going to print that much more. If you thought the money printing in 2020 was insane, that's nothing compared to what's coming. In 2020, we experienced programs never used before because they were panicked and still are panicked. Once a person has so much debt that they know they can't pay it back, their incentive is to borrow even more money because people know they're just going to go bankrupt. And so you might as well cash out while you still can. If you owe $250,000, you might as well owe $500,000. People are spending money they're never going to pay back. It's a moral hazard for so many Americans today. Over the last several decades, the inherent value of the US dollar has been on the decline. In 1971, the dollar's departure from the gold standard led to a major devaluation of the currency, and that was just the beginning. More and more countries today are seeking to diversify their money away from the US dollar, and China and Russia are leading the way to be backed by gold and commodities and not the US dollar. Our enemies would rather sit on mountains of precious minerals and oil and gold and not the US dollar. It's just a reality. All of these countries right now are buying up as much precious metals as they possibly can get their hands on. China, record-breaking amounts of gold and silver. That's why prices are surging. And central banks are, they're joining in as they dump the US dollar. Inflation will continue to rise as gold and silver rise, and it's a signal that the monetary policy is wrong and Powell's rate cut is clearly a devastating mistake. And they've made a lot of mistakes, but this one in particular, it's devastating. At this point, if you're not bullish on gold or silver, then I can't help you. Experts are already saying that gold is going to double to over $4,000 an ounce. What does that mean for silver? Even Bank of America sees gold hitting at least $3,000 an ounce very soon, and still others say these are conservative amounts in comparison to what's to come. So yes, going back to that original shout out, times have changed tremendously if you're going to compare them to the 1980s. So yes, folks, right here, look at that. Get some clarity right there. 1937 buffalo head. I do have a number of buffalo heads. These Indian heads, I love them. Old coins, and I love the artistry that's been put into them. Because you look at the modern nickels suck in comparison. This vintage coin is the last year buffalo nickels were struck at the Philadelphia Mint. These are a true American classic designed by renowned sculptor James E. Frazier. Of course, you look at this verse, and it features a proud Native American profile. I did some research on that, and actually they went through 3 Native Americans back then, and they did a combination of the 3 of the men, and they came up with this iconic image. The reverse, of course, you look at the nice reverse, and it depicts that classic rugged American buffalo. This vintage coin was struck the same year famous aviator Amelia Earhart with her navigator Fred Noonan disappeared while attempting the longest flight around the globe, which is still a mystery to this day. If you're familiar with the Bermuda Triangle, there's so many theories on what happened, but she did travel through there. They did travel through there, and upon traveling through there, they disappeared. But crazy. It's like, you don't imagine that was almost a century ago, but almost a century ago, we're in the year 2023. This is 1937 during the Depression era. But folks, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Silver Dad Knows. Tremendous growth on this channel. We already have almost 40,000 views altogether since this channel's inception. So 40,000 views, that's a ton of views. And we're already going upwards to 600 subscribers. But yes, guys, remember, you go to my description, you'll notice in my links, I have my Silver Dad Knows, which is linked to my eBay account. You can look at my collection. And if you want to buy any coins, just hit me up. I will sell you any of my coins at your choosing at my cost. I will hook you up. But again, folks, another evening of Silver Dad Knows. God bless your households. God bless you. And of course, This is Silver Dad Knows. God bless America.